Welcome once again to this YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to combine data. I have my data on 3 tabs. Data 1, which runs which has ID from 1 to 20. Then we go to data 2, which runs from 21 to 40. And lastly, data 3, which has IDs from 41 to 60. They are on different tabs. This video is to combine them into one sheet, which I call Comb1. So there are 3 approaches that I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you approach 1, approach 2, and approach 3. And thereafter, I'm going to show you my preferred approach, which I think you should use when you're given such a scenario. I'll be explaining that at the end of this video. To start off, there's a Google Sheet function called VSTACK, which stacks data vertically. What I mean is you go to data 1, you select your data here, put a comma, go to data 2, select your data there, put a comma, go to data 3, and select again your data set like so. Close the VSTACK function and press enter. When you do that, you're going to see that all my data is now pulled and put in the spreadsheet here and it's combined. That is my first approach. Approach number 2. In the second approach, you can use curly braces. What do I mean? You just open your curly braces like that, then go to data 1, Ctrl Shift down. Now because we are inserting one on top of the other, use the semicolon, the one that appears like this. Then we go to data 2, then we select our data there, semicolon, go to data 3, then select also our data set like so, close your curly braces and press enter. And this one also is gonna accomplish the same task where you can see all our data is combined. Now the last approach, and also my preferred approach, I will explain why it's my preferred approach, is to use the query function. You type $, type the word query, then we want to combine the different data sets, open my curly braces. So when you look at the docs, I have a video on the query function. You can look at it if you don't know how it works. But generally, it takes 3 arguments, where the first argument is the data that you want to query. The second argument is the query or the select statement that we're going to use to query our data in the first argument. And the last one is the headers. So let's get our data. We're going to use our curly braces to get our data. So I go to tab data 1. Now the headers, I pick my data, Ctrl Shift down, use semicolon, go to data set 2, pick my that, semicolon, I go to data set 3, I also pick this data, I close my curly braces. So all this represents my first argument, which is the data. I place a comma, I go to the next argument, which is my select statement. And my objective here is to select all. So you can say select star. And then I come here, I close my brackets. This one also, as you can see, is gonna pull all my data up to the last ID of 60, as you can see right there. So the question is, of the 3 approaches, which one should I use and which one should be your preferred approach? Now, let me give you an example here. 2 cases, actually. For example, if I go to data 1 here, and then I insert an empty row here. Let's go back to the combined sheet and see what happens. So when we go back to the combined sheet, there you go. You see, there is an empty row here, there's an empty row here, and there is also an empty row right there. And sometimes you don't want these empty rows to be in your data set. That's one disadvantage, but I'm going to show you how to solve that. Then if I remove this right here, if I go back, it is removed, you can see. Now, the other challenge that we have is assuming I come and add 21 right here, make this one maybe 99, Tina 99, September 99, like so. If I come back to my data set here, you can see it stops on Tina here, and the 99 does not get included. So you can say, okay, now to solve this one, let's go here and remove the end reference. So you remove the end reference so that it goes up to the end. So when you do that, and also do that, there you go. Definitely it's gonna bring the 99, but what is gonna happen is because I selected everything, including the empty spaces, it is also going to bring those empty spaces and place them here. Then after those empty spaces, that's when we are gonna see the second record of data, which is down. If I see my count here, you can see it is 62. So in other words, it has picked this one here, which is 22, plus this one here, which is 21, and then plus this here. But the disadvantage is it has also included the empty spaces. Now, how do we solve that? The best way to solve that, I think if you have another way, please share with me, is to use the query function. Now, to solve all these problems, I think the best approach to use is the query function. So let's go back to our approach of the query function, and then we ensure we see how we can solve this problem. So let's also include our empty spaces, and then using what we had used earlier, we'll see how all this is going to behave. So I'm going to go to data set 1. I remove the end reference. I remove so that it is A2 to D for all of them. So when I do that and I run my query, now it is going to run here and stop on the first data set here. Now there's an empty space. My other data is below here. And how I can easily know that is if I do a count. For example, if I highlight this row here, and you see I have 63, which is my total data set in removing the headers. Okay, if you count this one, you have come here. If I go to my count here, I have 21, 22, then here I have 22, then again I have 22, 21 minus the headers, which are repeated 3 times. You should be able to know that this data is repeated. However, the other data is shown down. So when I'm doing such work, I don't want spaces in my data. So that's where the query function has a great advantage over the other options in case you have spaces in your data set. So all I have to do in this case, I'll have to say where, and you have to select a column that you're sure of will always have a value. For example, I'll say column 1. If I know that the ID will always exist, something else may not exist, but in each of my data set, the ID will always exist. So I say where column 1 is not null. Now, by doing that, it is going to skip all the empty rows, and then it's going to bring all my data set. And you can see here, it is putting it right here. And also this is here. Now, the advantage of this is that the data is now dynamic. If I come and press a new value here, like so, maybe 61, I put Jean, whatever name, then whatever amount, and I go back to my combined sheet, it will automatically be updated and I'll have my last entry. Thank you for watching. And if you have not subscribed and you have liked this video, please subscribe, like the video, share, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to have a great day.